Are you looking for a space where you will learn to improve your mental strength, emotional health, and heal your insecurities from the inside out? Take the first step to living a more meaningful life with the Better Me with Body by Bree podcast. I'm your host, Bree. I'm a certified personal trainer, entrepreneur, and mother of 3. I've helped empower thousands of women to take action through fitness, nutrition, meditation, personal development, and aligning thoughts with action. This podcast is for those who are ready to feel inspired and motivated to live a more purposeful life. Let's grow together. Hi, friends. Welcome to the Better Me podcast. And before I get started, I want to remind all of you that I have a customized 8-week program where I walk you through the ins and outs of tracking macros, and I create specific workout plans for you through my app. And I help to hold you accountable. So if you need help reaching your fitness goals, I am here for you. Just go to bodybybree.com. Okay, let's get started. In this podcast, I want to address stress and emotional eating and give you 3 solutions that you can do and you can start today to help with your cravings. So today I was actually at the gym and I had a conversation with a friend that made me feel like we needed to talk about this issue. She was saying that she felt so stressed with COVID that she started stress eating. So she said it was like this euphoric feeling that helped her feel better in the moment. But after, she felt so guilty and mad at herself, and it was this awful cycle. So she was saying, I actually did feel better in the moment because I was happy in the moment. But then after, I just felt so bad about myself and I can't get out of this cycle. And I just kept thinking that we have all been there. I remember when I was pregnant and I hit a really low spot where I felt so self-conscious. I had low self-esteem because I was just already huge and I was really stressed and anxious. And every day I would stop by Chick-fil-A and I would get an Oreo shake. And I looked forward to that Oreo shake. It was honestly the highlight of my day. I loved it so much. I would get giddy when I ate it. And I had this euphoric feeling. And if you know, you know. If you've done it, you know what I'm talking about. But I totally understand. I have been there. And it's so hard to see a way out. And it's really hard to stop once you've created that habit. But it is possible. It all stems from emotion and stress. So from a scientific point, cortisol increases appetite and it can cause someone to overeat. So when you have high cortisol levels from stress, it increases food cravings for sugary or fatty foods. And stress is also associated with increased hunger hormones, which may also contribute to cravings for unhealthy foods. So besides the scientific facts of why you're craving those bad foods, it can also be emotional. And maybe you're doing really well with your goals, but deep down inside, you don't feel worthy of the success. Or maybe you don't feel like you're worth the work. Or maybe you're so stressed, the only happiness that you can find is actually through food. So there are many reasons why you might want to stress eat or binge, but I'm going to give you 3 solutions that helped pull me out of my funk and that will help you get back on track. So number 1 is to obviously lower your stress levels, but how I did that is with meditation. So I would start my day with a quiet intention, and that made all the difference. So you have to take time to be still and connect with your spirit or God or whatever you believe in. And it will help your cortisol levels so that you don't feel stressed. And a lot of people are like, well, I don't know how to meditate. And I've done a lot of podcasts on this. But there are so many meditation apps out there. You can meditate for 7 minutes and just wake up 15 minutes before your kids and meditate and say your morning prayer or whatever it is. And that will help you start your day in a peaceful, calm state that will help with your stress levels. And it's proven that meditation does help lower cortisol levels. So that's number 1. Number 2 is to journal how you feel. When you journal what you feel when you want to give up, and just eat everything in sight, that will help you be aware of it. You cannot fix any of your habits if you're not aware of what you're doing. So what I would do is I'd actually journal how I felt after I would eat all of that food. I was like, oh, I feel so gross. I'm so demotivated or whatever. I'd write it down. And then the next time when I would say no to that food, or I had self-control, or I was like, you know what, I don't need that shake, I would journal that as well. And then I would remember how great I feel when I do stick to my goals. And I have to remember that feeling of feeling like guilty and sick and gross. And, when you just binge and eat everything in sight, I had to remember that feeling because I didn't want to feel that way. So a really great way to do that is to journal, but also journal what you're feeling when you feel the need to do that. So are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling unworthy? Are you feeling guilty? Are you feeling anxious? What are you feeling and why? And write it out so that you can address those emotions and feel those emotions. It's okay to feel them. A lot of times when we're overeating, it's because we're trying to mask a feeling and we don't want to feel it anymore. So to write it out and feel it, that will help you heal, and it'll help stop that cycle, that unhealthy cycle. Number 3 is to get on a schedule. Make a commitment to yourself so you have a plan in the morning and you know exactly what you're going to do. When you have structure, it will help you feel in control and not feel the need to eat your emotions. So for me, that's, waking up. I work out every day at 8:30. I wake up every day at 7. I have a schedule. And with COVID, that kind of went out the window. And I think that's what made so many people feel stressed and anxious was when you feel anxious, it's because you're trying to control things that you have no control over. And so putting a schedule is going to give you a sense of that control back. And that will help you so much. So one other tip is I do want you to avoid feeling the need to cut out sugar altogether or go to an extreme diet, because that will just make you feel more of a failure when you don't stick to it, which nobody can if they do such extremes, right? So I had to tell myself, okay, you can have one Oreo shake a week. Don't cut it out altogether. Just have one a week. Just reel it in a little bit. And then slowly I stopped relying on it and I was like, oh, I actually don't need this Oreo shake. It's actually okay. I don't need it. And it wasn't hard to phase out. So you have to do baby steps that help you build confidence instead of doing extremes that are going to make you lose confidence in yourself. And if you're like, oh, I'm so mad at myself, I binged this whole week, I'm going to cut out all carbs, I'm not going to eat sugar, that's just going to, that's a recipe for disaster, right? You're just setting yourself up for failure at the very beginning. That's what we want to avoid. So baby steps that will help you feel better about yourself, help you feel confident about yourself. What can you realistically do and stick to that, even if it's small? And another tip that helps is if you can take all that anxious energy and put it into a workout or some type of movement that will help you sort through your emotions, because you'll have a clear mind. So emotion needs motion. Okay? Emotion needs motion. You need to move your body. Let yourself clear your head. Give yourself 20 minutes and I bet that craving is gone, right? Go for a walk or get out of the house or play a game with your kids. Distract yourself, but move your body, because you will notice that all that anxious energy, it's being released. It has somewhere to go. So hopefully this helps. And remember, you are so much more than your body. You are resilient, you are strong, and you are capable. And I will see you here next time.